When it comes to all of this online stuff, all this stuff on Google, the Google business profile, the way your website's designed, the keywords, and all of that stuff, I see so many business owners starting to and trying to think like SEO geeks and trying to manipulate this Google system. When in actuality, what you should be doing is thinking like a business owner and thinking like a marketer. What's up there, guys? Izzy here once again with Get Busy LLC, here helping local businesses understand website design, SEO, and getting their business found on Google to generate more leads for their business. In this video, I want to talk about SEO, website design, the keyword stuff, the whole process of SEO, and you as a business owner really trying to get your business to the top of Google's search engine, especially that map listing, and how there's so much information online. There's so many hacks, so many tricks, there's so many tactics to try to manipulate the system, the algorithm, Google search engine to get your business to the top. And I want to tell people that you have to really stop thinking about this stuff as an SEO person. And what you have to do is think about this as a business owner and a marketer. I mean, it's so easy. Just go on YouTube these days and just type in, how do I get my business to the top of Google? You're going to see hundreds of videos with tricks and tactics and things that you can do to try to manipulate the system and try to do something to get yourself into the Google map listing, that three pack of Google. When the truth and the reality is that you more than likely you can't. You can't cheat even if you really wanted to. I get so many questions from some of the business owners that I'm helping if they should do this tactic, if they should do this, they should build this page, they should be all this stuff. And in reality, Google's not looking for all that stuff. From what I've seen over the years now, I've been doing this for a long time. From what I'm seeing the search engine do now, it's looking for authenticity. It's looking for legitimate businesses. It's looking for the best service provider in a particular area to showcase in that Google three pack of the organic listings. And from what I've seen too, I don't even see people really scrolling down any further than that map listing. They don't really go down into that top 10 organic search, especially on their phones, because their screens are so small and they're so used to just showing up, tapping into that Google map listing. And this is why I'm starting to tell business owners that you really, really should stop thinking about this SEO stuff, the geeky stuff, because in actuality, it doesn't really matter all that much. Yes, there are some things that the rules, basic rules still apply. You got to fill out that Google business profile all the way. You got to pick the proper category. You got to build a really well structured website that clearly tells Google what you do and where you provide those services. Give it all the information of all the sub services that you do. Like, say, you're a plumber, you probably unclog toilets, unclog bathtubs, unclog sinks, unclog kitchen sinks. You probably install kitchen faucets, you probably install bathroom faucets, you probably install bathtub faucets, all the service. You're going to have to do all that stuff online. That's the basic stuff that you need. But in actuality, what I see the search engine doing is looking for legitimate businesses, looking for the best of the best in any particular market, because you have to think about it as if you owned Google. Google's number one objective, like any business, is to make money, period. They need to make money for their shareholders, increase their share prices, and just increase revenue. And Google can only do that if it's only providing the best results for the end user. If people get upset with those search results, people are going to go elsewhere, especially now with this AI stuff. Google's got some competition. But when it comes to the Google business profiles, the map listings, I just don't see anybody else really tapping into that, really competing against Google with that kind of thing for the time being right now. So as a business owner, you should go out there and really market your services. Be a business owner. Think like, how would you advertise your business if there was no internet, there was no online stuff? What exactly would you do? You have to think about it that way. So I want to share with you guys a few examples of what I'm talking about here and just kind of prove my point that this is what I think Google's looking for. It's looking for the authenticity of a business out there really trying to promote their business old school ways, businesses that think like marketers, businesses that think like business owners, businesses that don't think like SEO geeks, SEO people, and trying to constantly manipulate what Google is looking for to showcase a business in the top of those search results. So let me show you examples of what I'm talking about here. So what I want to do is I want to prove this idea and prove it to you that this is what the algorithm is actually looking for. None of these tricks, none of these tactics, none of these hacks, nothing like that. All this algorithm is trying to do is give the end user the best three businesses for that service in any particular area. So I just randomly picked Santa Maria, California. It's a town that's about an hour away from me. It's about 100,000 people. And I just picked funeral home. The reason I thought of that is because somebody reached out to me who has a funeral home. So I said funeral home. I typed in funeral home in Santa Maria and I looked for the very first one that shows at the top here. And I looked at their website. They're ranking here number one. I don't know anything about this business. And I just clicked on them and just scroll through the page. And I could tell that they are a funeral home and that they are located there in Santa Maria. It says right here. Like I say, I don't know much about this industry, but it's pretty clear what they do. They do services, see what they do. They do funeral services, celebrating life, monitoring, all this kind of stuff that comes with this funeral. This area is not very big. It's maybe 100,000 people. So they probably don't have much competition, but they're still number one because there's several out there. But I noticed they have a good amount of reviews right here. And I took a look at their website. And then one of the things I do is look at their backlinks. Now, the backlinks pointing to this website are not just backlinks for the sake of backlinks. Again, people thinking like SEO geeks. What backlinks do is they tell a story. They tell the search engine what it gives it an idea what this whole damn page is about. So if a website has a lot of backlinks pointing back to it, Google's algorithm is going to start picking up on it and say, okay, what is this? It's being shared online. It must be a good business. It must be a good website in order for us to push it towards the top. And being this is a small area, they don't really have much, but you could see just from the links here that it's beginning to tell a story. So I took a look at some of these right here, and it looks like there's a Santa Maria rodeo, and they're rodeo sponsors. It looks like they sponsored this event. And as I scroll down here, I could take a look and see somewhere on this page they have a donation to look at all these businesses. This is what legitimate businesses do. You know what I'm saying? They're thinking like a business owner. They're thinking like a marketer. They're going to go sponsor this rodeo in this town. People are going to see the logo somewhere in that sponsorship, and it's going to give them traction. People are going to get to know who they are and their brand. Not only that, it's creating a legitimate backlink pointing back to this business. And I took a look at another example. Here's another link. Just looking at the link, it looks like a Santa Maria Valley Chamber business newsletter or something like that. So somewhere in this Chamber of Commerce magazine or something like that, they probably have a link pointing back to their business. You see what I'm saying? They're thinking like business owners. They're out there promoting their business to their local area, their Santa Maria, California, through this Chamber of Commerce newsletter where they got going on. They're doing what a business owner should be doing. And it's creating a link that's pointing right back to their website. And Google sees this kind of activity and sees that this is a legitimate business in that area. I found another link for them, and this is called the Santa Maria Times. I know of this because I'm pretty close to that town. It's like a local newspaper in that area. It looks like they got an article written or something, maybe even like a podcast. Listen to this article now. But somewhere on here, it creates a link pointing back to their business. So people probably get a printed version of this, or maybe they get an email newsletter and people read this. This business is out there trying to promote their business, old school tactics, the old way. And Google's picking up on that by recognizing their backlinks. And they probably have backlinks in other directories somewhere in town or somewhere just nationwide directories for funeral homes. And this is why their business is starting to climb, or has been at the top of Google search results, and especially in that map listing. So another example I want to give to you guys is AC Repair in Fresno. Now, Fresno, California, there's over 500,000 people there. That's just a city town. That's not counting all the smaller towns around that town. But during the summer, it gets hotter than Hades over there. It's about 110, 115 sometimes out in Fresno. So AC Repair in Fresno, it's got to be one brutally competitive keyword in that location. So I decided just to do a quick search and take a look at the number one ranking or one of the top three and see why they're actually in this map listing. And I found Balance Comfort. Very first thing I noticed, they got 3.3 thousand reviews. So that means they are absolutely kicking ass. This one's got 4,000. This guy's got 120. But all in all, it's telling me as a consumer, this guy's got tremendous reviews. Look at that. Now I'm going to guess there's probably dozens and dozens of AC repair guys in that town. I bet you there's tons of them. So if I'm Google, what am I going to do to judge which ones I think should be in this top three? Again, to make my brand badass and have people keep coming back to my brand. Not for these businesses, for me, Google. I want to showcase the best so people keep using my search engine. What am I going to do to make my judgment on that and place them at the top? Again, I'm going to see, okay, so their reviews. I'm going to take a look at their site. Balanced comfort, Fresno's home comfort. So it's already telling me they're in Fresno. I could just tell just by skimming through this that this is a AC repair, just kind of HVAC company there in Fresno. Now I'm the search engine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look at their backlinking profile. I want to see the story it's going to tell me. So I did look at all their backlinks. First of all, they got a shit ton of backlinks, and a lot of them are directories. So they're out there trying to promote their business, placing their business in all kinds of different directories online. I'm the search engine. I'm going to say, you know what? This guy's out there trying to get his name out there. He's really trying to make an effort. I like his website. He's got a lot of reviews. Let's keep digging further and seeing what this guy's doing as far as marketing out there in his local area. And one of the very first links I see, the most powerful link I see on here, is MLB Visalia. And what do I see here in Visalia? I do remember correctly because my father lives out there that they have a AAA team, and I forgot what team it was for. It doesn't matter though. What I've seen is that this AC repair HVAC company has donated and is out there trying to promote their business somewhere on this page. I haven't found the link, but they're on here targeting Visalia. Visalia is about 30 minutes away from Fresno. So they're out there trying to get their name out there, and they're doing it with an MLB AAA team. They are not screwing around. This is an incredibly strong backlink. Not only that, I bet you they're getting business just from this alone. Maybe people see their banner out in the outfield or wherever they're promoting their business. They take a snap of their picture or their logo. Maybe they call them for AC repair. They're building up their brand. They're being business owners and marketers. As I keep scrolling, I see they have a listing on Angie's List. Of course, you got to have that. And Moen Pro Finder. Now, if I remember correctly from my times at Lowe's, Moen's, they sell faucets and kitchen stuff like that. So they must provide this type of brand when they install bathroom stuff, as a plumber. So they are in the directory for Moen itself. Now, again, I'm Google. I'm scrolling through these backlinks. It's beginning to tell me a story about this business. As I keep scrolling through their backlinks, I see, again, continuous amounts of directories, which is great. Tons and tons of directories. But then I keep scrolling and I find even more links that are telling me a story. They have a link in the Chamber of Commerce of Visalia, California. Again, this town is about 30 minutes away from Fresno. They do business in this town, so it obviously makes sense for them to get a link in their business directory of Visalia. Probably costs $200, $300, $400. They probably don't care because, again, they're thinking as marketers and business owners. Continuing to dig, I see Clovis Chamber of Commerce. Now, Clovis, I always tell people Clovis is right next to Fresno. It's a little bit more lucrative area, people with some bucks. Clovis, California. Again, they do business there, so it only makes sense for them to create a link or join the membership and become a member of the Chamber of Commerce of Clovis, again, which is going to create a backlink pointing back to their business for their AC, HVAC repair, all that good stuff. And as you keep scrolling through here, you're going to find they have a link here in Environmental Collaborative Central California. The Central Valley of California is Fresno. So they have some kind of event here, some kind of link somewhere. I didn't really dig into it, but they have a link somewhere on this page. They probably donated to some cause here. Again, they're out there trying to promote their business. So as you dig through with this Keywords Everywhere tool that I always recommend to people, you'll see the number of backlinks. And as you keep looking through them, it tells a story to Google's search engine, the algorithm of what this business does, where it provides that service, the authority because it's getting backlinks to begin with, and it's telling Google this is a guy, this is a business that's not afraid to spend a little money to get their name out there, to really make a name for themselves online. And I could tell that they're good because of the reviews that they have. And I could tell by their website that they spend money, energy, and time on building out a really well structured website. And I've taken a look at their pictures, their building brand, there's people with their crews and all that stuff. So they're doing a really good job. They showed all of the services they provide here on their Google business profile, all that stuff. So now I'm Google, the algorithm, and I'm scrolling through these businesses, and I'm sure that Google does it to all of them. And Google has made its judgment that this one is the best. And I'm going to show it at the top for that geographic location of AC repair Fresno. For those 3 keywords, Google deemed these guys to be the best, not to favor them, to favor me as Google's algorithm, the search engine. so people continue to trust what I give them and keep coming to use my search engine. So now you see how this whole algorithm of Google's actually works. It's really looking for legitimate businesses, authenticity. That's what it's really looking for. And that's why I said you can't cheat, even if you really wanted to. So let's say I'm some new HVAC repair company out in Fresno. What are the chances that I'm going to dethrone that guy at the top or any of those other two that are at the top? I'm going to have to put in all that effort that those guys did, plus more. I have to go out there and get more reviews. Maybe there's some hacks, there's some things, there's some click through manipulation that I could do to try to push myself in there. It could work for a little while, but when it's all said and done and the dust settles and it's all clears another year down the road, that guy's authority, that guy's trust, that guy's brand is going to be cemented into that community that it's going to be incredibly difficult to dethrone them off that 3-pack. And this is why I think Google gives it a 3-pack, because it knows there's going to be more than one that's going to be the best. It wants to give people a little bit of a variety, especially when they're searching for these services on their phone. And this is why I tell business owners, contractors, home services that now is the time to really jump on and really get that website built out. Really start working on that business profile. Start building out those Google reviews. Start getting all the backlinking done, because as time progresses, more and more time goes by. I've seen it myself. You could easily hack your way into some of these 3 spots with even a fake listing. But as time's gone on, I'm seeing that Google's really looking for authenticity, a good business that's actually out there marketing itself and not trying to rely on SEO tactics and SEO geek stuff that's on here online. And in my opinion, I think Google even hates SEO people. So this is why I say when it comes to all this online stuff and marketing your business online and the business profile stuff, think like a business owner, think like a marketer. Don't think like an SEO geek. Now, if you guys want help with any of this stuff, any to the website, the SEO stuff, the backlinking, any of that stuff, I got a little course down here in the description below. I show everybody how to do exactly what I do for all these business owners, step by step. The website design, the structure, filling out the Google business profile, where to get the backlinks, all the stuff that you need to get things stuff going. It's all in the description below. And all of it is aimed at getting your business into that 3-pack. And like I said, from this point forward, what I'm seeing is Google's strictly going to focus your customers, your clientele, where people are going to do their search. They're going to be focused on that 3-pack. And 3-pack, it's either the 3-pack or bust, in my opinion. I created a video that talks about that right here. You could check that out. And that's all I got for you guys today. Until next time.